Welcome to another 416 interview series podcast. Today, sitting down with me is Wes Arabie, one of the elders here at the DeGaulle Drive Church of Christ in New Orleans. And so we've been here this weekend. And Wes, thank you for sitting down and taking the opportunity to talk about the work here. But first, for those who wouldn't know you or may not know you, just take a moment, introduce yourself and a little bit about your family and where we are exactly and that kind of stuff.
Okay, I'm from this area, born and raised in Gretna, which is one city over from where we are now in the suburb of New Orleans. We left here in 1978 and the oil field was transferred to Anchorage, Alaska. Stayed gone for about 18 years. During that time, I managed color tile stores and different things, and then went to Memphis School of Preaching, and from there I went to Memphis School of Preaching, graduated from Memphis School of Preaching in 1990, and preached full-time in Charleston, Mississippi for 7 years till my mother down here became ill with cancer in 1997, and we had a family business down here that my mom and dad ran, so I left Charleston in 1997, came down here to assist my father with the family business while he was tending to mom, and she passed shortly thereafter, and so we decided to stay down here. I attended here at DeGaulle Drive on Sunday nights, and on Sunday morning and Wednesdays I drove 50 miles to a little congregation out of here called Raceland Church of Christ for about 5 years, and then the preacher here became ill, so I started assisting more in here, and eventually became an elder and the associate preacher.
Gotcha.
That's where we're at now.
Well, and I love the congregation. I love this area. It has so much interest to it, and of course, people. When you say New Orleans, that means a lot of different things to a lot of different people, certainly. But the church here, is a beacon of light and hope in this community, and I love that, and they have been for a long, long time, and so I'm certainly appreciative of that. So let's talk about that, and this is one thing I didn't realize until you just said it, that you'd gone to Nashville School of Preaching, then to Memphis.
Right.
Let's talk about what led you to choose to go to the School of Preaching to begin with, man?
That's kind of an amusing story. I went to Nashville. I had been living there for about 2 years and probably attending Nashville Bible School there for probably just about 6 months or so, and met this fella from Texas. His name was Randy Miller. And we got to talking and this, that, and the other one night, became good friends. And, again, he's a Texan. He says, Hoss, says, you want to go to a preaching school, you need to come with me next year to Memphis School of Preaching. I had never heard of Memphis School of Preaching before, but that's just the way he said it. And so I did some investigating, and he started in the summer, and I couldn't make it quite till the summer to start in the summer. So, but I did start in that first quarter. Mm-hmm. After that, in the fall, and that's how I got there, because of him.
Hoss.
And we sat together for 2 years and had fun and really enjoyed school and enjoyed all the teachers, and such a blessing for everybody involved, for our families, for the work and for the knowledge and everything.
So Brother Cates was directing at that
Brother
point.
Cates was there.
And so any other notables, certainly.
Brother Curry.
Brother Curry was
I think that was about 2 years before he retired. Brother Dearman was teaching there at the time. Brother Rutherford was teaching there at the time. And of course, Brother Mosier and Brother Cates, and I think that was it. None of the those that a lot of had the benefit of sitting under, like Brother Garland and such, hadn't come there yet.
I got you.
So,
well, and you and I were talking. Our experiences, a lot of times obviously are going to have to do with the instructors who are there.
right.
And so, but it's but one thing that seems to always ring true is the level of instruction that is there. They've always made sure you get top-notch training while you're there, and so I think that's something that across the board, throughout its history, certainly has been the case.
Right.
When you think about the School of Preaching, And you mentioned, sitting next to Brother Miller, for those 2 years, and I have fond memories of sitting next to the guys that I sat next to, and we're still close. And in a text group today, they were texting me, I think, while I was preaching tonight, even, or that something was going on anyway, and they were texting. Scott was probably in that too.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, but when I think about that, is there anything that stands out that just in your mind that you still hold to dearly, in your ministry through the years?
Well, I think what probably helped me most in the work that I have done throughout the years is I cherish my notes from classes probably more than any of the books that I have in my library. When I teach a Bible class here or anywhere, mostly I go back to my notes and not to other material, because probably most of the material in my notes through my instructors has come from all of these
Sure.
books that I have and such. But that's been a great blessing to me that I've been able to. I still graduated in 1990 and still have all my original books, notebooks, and this, that, and the other, and I rely on them heavily, both not just for teaching but for preaching also, and reference work.
I've heard of brethren, a couple of guys that I've heard through the years who have either lost, either through fire or flood or something like that, lost their notes and just felt for a while, what am I going to do?
Lost, right.
Just a little bit lost without everything. And certainly that's why we take the copious notes while we're there, right? Because we heard that constantly while we were there. So let's talk about the work here at DeGaulle Drive. And I know that through the work of being an associate here, but also preaching in other places even prior to that, you were in Charleston, Mississippi.
Right.
As well, so thinking about ministry and how that now relates to your serving as an elder in the congregation here at DeGaulle Drive, and from an elder's perspective, when you look at ministry, has that changed any?
As far as change, it's really been a blessing to me to be under an eldership, because both of my works, both in Raceland, Louisiana, and in Charleston, Mississippi, were no elderships run by men's business meetings and such, and then to be able to come back here, and I say back here because I was baptized in this area in 1974. Like most people in this area, I was raised a Catholic, and just been able to experience before I became an elder exactly how blessed congregations are to have an eldership versus the work I've done in those without. And there's definitely a lot less problems, a lot less trials and things that a preacher has to go through, and such. And it's just a blessing to work under an eldership.
Yeah, I agree. And when and I'm trying to think, from an elder's perspective here, when you prepare material to teach or to preach, because I know you still preach here a good bit, is there a different approach or maybe a different mindset because you're an elder? I'm just, for those guys who have either served in dual roles, in that,
right.
We get a lot of questions sometimes about that, and the different aspects of the work. And so I just thought it'd be interesting to pick your brain a little bit about from an elder's perspective, but also then
Right.
getting up to preach. How do you approach that?
I don't see where the approach has changed any. I mean, I was a preacher since school. I have always been a preacher, and as an elder, I'm still a preacher.
Right.
And I don't see where the decisions I have to make and the dealing with the brethren and this, that, and the other affects the way I preach in any way, shape, or form. I just don't see where it influences my preaching.
Right.
I don't know if it should or if it shouldn't. But
Well, I don't know if there's a right or wrong in that.
Yeah,
I'm just,
and as
I'm
long
just
as
kind of
you-
curious, thinking about the work here, and we've talked, a good bit about the works through the years and what you guys have been involved with, in community and different things like that. But what would you highlight, or what would you want folks to know about the congregation here at DeGaulle Drive?
I think the thing that we've been most blessed with is to be able to be involved for a small congregation as we are now. Now, this particular congregation, back in what we call the oil field days and such, and the military days when military was more prominent in the area, has gotten up to over 300 at one point in time. And in years past, I wasn't here during that time. That's the time that I was away from New Orleans. But now we're at roughly averaging 50 or 60, and since COVID, and are having a little growth spurt, which we're blessed to have. But it's been, it's just been an ordeal to go through Katrina and then to go through COVID 20 years later. What Katrina did to us, at the time of Katrina, we were averaging about 135 here. Well, after Katrina, this whole area was so devastated that the young adults here with young families didn't want to go through that again. So when the opportunity came for them to transfer out in their oil field or in their military or whatever else they were involved in as far as work was concerned, they did it. And that dropped us down within a year from Katrina to probably about 40 brethren or so.
Wow. Yeah.
It really knocked us for a loop. And then we slowly grew, and Brother Scott Kane came and worked with us 10 years, and we grew, and we're getting back up into the 90s and such, and then COVID hit.
Yeah.
And that again just devastated us. I got off track somewhere from the original question.
No.
But,
well, and I think that, so many congregations, well, and my next question was about, the struggle, that you face. And I think that there's, every congregation that we've talked to, has COVID stories, what it did, and things like that. There's, it's unfortunate, but I see congregations, building back after that, and seems to be a stronger family atmosphere because of the things that were missed during that time, and so there seems to be a resolve to be closer, and I think that's and I hope that we get to help with that in our work as well. But that's something that I think is vitally important, but it seems to be a trend. Right. That we're seeing, and so while congregations may be smaller, but as they're building back, they seem to be closer.
Right.
And so, but there's, when you go through trauma, there's always brings you closer together with people that you've been to battle with, so to speak, in that sense. So, one of the goals for 416 Ministries, and Cindy and I, when we talk to preachers and elders and members, we want to know, okay, well, what has kept you going? Because we all face difficulties, and so what keeps you going as a preacher, as as an elder, and even as just a member of the Lord's church, as a Christian, what keeps you pressing forward?
Well, I think that's just it. Christianity and the Lord and His Word and what He requires of us, and the way He blesses us when we continue to do His will. My family has been blessed enormously. This congregation has been blessed enormously for as few as we are to be able to do the mission work and the support of preaching students and the support of radio and TV programs like we're involved in for such a small congregation and so far away from the Bible Belt. Another thing that, and with the influence that we have from denominationalism around here, to be able to be blessed by the Lord to do the work that we do is just as encouraging as can be.
Yeah.
Because I've lived in other areas.
Yeah.
And have worked in other areas, and they were great too. But like you said in the beginning, New Orleans is a little bit different. It's a little bit different.
But it's home to you, so
it's home.
Absolutely. Right. And it's home to a lot of good brethren too,
right.
And we're blessed to be able to know them too, and to be encouraged by that. And Wes, thanks for sitting down and just letting me kind of pick your brain just a little bit and ask you a few questions. We're thankful for you tuning in and watching the 416 interview series, and we'll see you further down the road.